right. Hey everybody, Jeff here. I am online with Gusty Gulas. But can I ask you real quick? I've never met another Gusty in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm one of two in town.
Are you?
So
There's
yeah,
two there?
I was named after a guy named Gusty Gulas, who was a famous Auburn University football player, All-American. And what's funny is I'm a Bama grad, so but my mom was friends with him, and so
There you
she
go.
loved that name. So I got nicknamed it
There
growing
you
up.
go.
So.
It's awesome. It's a great name. So Gusty is down in Birmingham, Alabama, and actually you've had the #1 real estate team in the entire city of Birmingham, right? For
Yeah, that's
like
correct. Since
years now.
2012,
Okay.
so a good while.
Very cool. So can you share some of your story real quick? Just talk about some of your background with real estate. Talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit first. Okay.
yeah, sure. So I was in the mortgage business for a couple of years, and realized that I did not love that business, and so but it was a job. So you just work like any job. And in 2006, I was laid off because our whole company got laid off. And that was probably one of the best professional things that has happened to me, because it allowed me to figure out what I really wanted to do with my life. And luckily, my mother-in-law is a realtor, and she was like, why don't you go get your real estate license? And so that was back in 2006. Got my real estate license, was a rookie of the year at the first company I was at, was a finalist for the association rookie of the year. And then the recession hit back in 08, 09. And so I really had to figure out what I wanted to do in my life in
Yeah.
my career.
Yeah.
And luckily I realized I definitely wanted real estate to be my career. And so I just had to really like lock down and start networking and really just adapt and not be afraid to ask for business. And luckily, a few doors opened, and all of a sudden, in 2010, for the majority of the year, I was the #1 agent at the #1 real estate company in the state of Alabama. And it was I was working with a neighborhood stabilization project, helping nonprofits find foreclosures, and then I was early to Zillow, and have been a premier agent with Zillow for 10 years. And so I've always been kind of one step ahead. I was one of the early ones to our market. And I had a rental placement business for a little while. And that was as we were coming out of the recession. And then, as we were growing the team, then, my name started getting thrown around from other companies as wanting me to come to their business. And so I looked at one model that recruited me over, and significantly looked at that, and I took that to my team, and they voted and said, we don't want to go to that company. If you start your own company, we'll follow you. And at that point, I did not want to open up my own brokerage, but throughout the year, just something was going on at that brokerage, or the one that we were at. Seemed like once a month we were having an issue. And so finally, by the end of 2014, I decided to open up my own shop. And that was a company called Brik Realty. And so we grew that to be, within 3 years, the #3 brokerage in the Birmingham market, #3 closed business, #4 in volume, and a really dynamic group of agents. And so let's see. And then in 2017, I found this model called eXp Realty.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared the hell out of me from an independent brokerage owner standpoint. And after looking at the model for a couple of years, finally, I guess kind of moving fast forward, and about 9 months ago, August of 2019, we made the move, rolled the brokerage, rolled my team over to eXp, and wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, very cool. How many agents did you have at your brokerage before?
We topped out at one time. We topped out at 137 agents, which was crazy.
Okay. That's big.
So we grew that within a 3-year period, 3.5 years.
Okay.
By the time that we had made the decision to move over, I think we were about 75 or 80 agents. And when we made the move, we actually ended up losing about half of our agents. So we had about 35 come over.
Okay.
Which I think looking back, I think I missed some steps and rollout that I could go back and change.
Sure.
But again, I think a lot of those folks that didn't come with me will eventually come with me, and I think they all realized that I was really making the best choice for everybody, not only my family but for them. And sometimes emotions get high when things are changing and things are moving, and so I think people have to make the best decision for them, and I think they'll come down the pathway and come work with me. But so we brought over like 35, and so now 8 months later, I think we've got 83 in our organization. So we're, one of the biggest things that I saw as an independent broker is I could only grow in Birmingham. Like, I mean, theoretically, I could grow an office and go in different places and different cities, but it costs a lot of money to open up a brick and mortar, and it just did not make a lot of sense. And so now with this model, I'm able to grow all over the state, all over the Southeast, all over the nation, and even globally. And so I've just got, utilizing the relationships and being a mentor to folks. And like we just announced we had 5 agents in Auburn come over this past week, and they were at a top company down there. And so we're really focused on growing that market, and so there's just so many more opportunities than I could have given as an independent broker.
Well, without having to start another brick and mortar office in those places, you know what I mean? Because there's such a huge expense with that. Well, when you saw it in 2017, you said it scared you. Like as an independent broker, what scared you when you saw it? What did you see? Was it concerning? Like, oh my God, my agents are going to see this, and I mean, was there that concern of it, or what?
Well, it was. I can't beat it. I'm very competitive, and I always want to put my agents in the best position possible.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, I was like, crap, man, this is going to be tough to beat. Do I want to reinvent the wheel? Do I want to put something that's similar together, or do you just partner with it? And it's kind of hard. I mean, like when you're on top of the world, it seemingly at that time I was, running the company, and we were blowing and going, and we were continued growth. And then, it was one of those times like you just couldn't make a change, or at least that seemed like I couldn't make a change. And, hindsight's 2020. I wish that I would have made a change back then, but I believe you make changes whenever it really is right for you. And I think the timing was really right when we made that move 8 months ago. Because I don't think that, our folks weren't ready 8 months ago, but they sure as hell wouldn't have been ready 2.5 years ago.
Right.
And actually what's really funny is one of my agents brought this to me about 5 days before I started my brokerage in 2014. Really? And so I really look back at that one and say, like, dead gum, because I remember saying, like, man, this will never work. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Boy, was I wrong. So
that's funny.
And especially like,
did you keep your brand coming over?
Well, I kept my team brand.
Okay.
I did not keep my brokerage brand. And I loved my brokerage brand, and we had a great name. It was called Brik Realty. We had a great logo. My folks really, really loved our brand. And, it was one of those things that you just really had to turn the page. And, we might have some throwback stuff with Brik that comes down the pipeline, but, I mean, I've made the commitment that I'm going to be at EXP, and I see this as my exit strategy and my retirement. And so, that's kind of another reason why I put the name away.
Mm-hmm. Now broker owners, they could keep their brand if they
for sure. Yeah.
So, right. Because we got a lot of them here in town, whatever, they built the brand. If they wanted to keep that, they could, just brokered by EXP Realty on there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was running a team and a brokerage, and so my team was Gusty Gulas Group, and so now we're just Gusty Gulas Group, brokered by EXP Realty. But brokers can keep their brand because that is personal to them. It was, making that step for me was extremely difficult. It was extremely difficult for my family, saying, all right, we've really got to pivot. We've got to make this change. And that was tough because, I mean, when you're growing a business, that's your baby.
Sure.
And it's hard to say that, there's something out there that's better. But, I consider myself a student of the industry. And if I'm constantly looking at what is going on all around the country so that I can better the agents I surround myself with. And you just could not get away from the fact that EXP was growing and growing with really dynamic people.
Mm-hmm.
And, and really what it boiled down to is it's not about if it was going to hit this market, it was about when it was going to hit this market.
Right.
And do I either want to be the person or one of the people that helps grow it in this market, helps grow it, period, or do I want to watch somebody else do it? And I had to make that decision that, no, I wanted to be the person. I didn't want to watch somebody else doing it because I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I want to be a part of it.
Sure. Good deal. What would you say, just to jump ahead, like with what we're dealing with right now? I mean, it's just such an unprecedented time right now, that we're all facing. I mean, just, can you talk about that a little bit? What do you think, like, as far as a broker owner, I mean, I know some of them, they've got to be just shaking their boots a little bit right now. I think, there's so much uncertainty right now with what's happening, we'll talk about that for a little bit. I mean, just how EXP is handling that, number one. I mean, I'm excited. It's just been exciting to see how we're dealing with all this as a company. But can you talk a little bit about some of that?
Yeah. I mean, here's the way we've been virtual. EXP's been virtual since 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of companies are having to pivot and change to adapt to what's going on in the world, where this is cruise control for us. And actually, it's just kind of like we've put gasoline on a fire. That's really what's happening.
Yeah.
And so, now what I love about it is the now all of these top agents are willing to go into EXP world and train. We've got this series called the Excel series, and you've got top agents from around the country teaching. And how cool is that? I mean, they're giving back, sharing what has made their business, help grow their business, and they're giving back to all 28,000 plus agents. Well, as a broker owner, I was doing everything I could to create 1 hour of content for a lunch and learn on a weekly basis. Well, now I don't have to worry about any of that. Right. I can say, all right, let's jump into world. We've got 50 plus hours of training with literally the best people all around the country. Mm-hmm. What better is that? So, I mean, if I'm sitting as a broker owner, I'm trying to figure out how to pay my agents if they're closing deals. Because my staff is not at the office. My staff is remote right now. I still have actually an office, but my folks are remote, and we're make it happen. But from the brokerage side of things, we would have had to really figure out how to pay people and how to continue to train. So from the broker standpoint, this is nothing new from EXP. I think this is another reason why somebody that is a broker, a team leader, anybody that is in that position, they seriously need to look at EXP, because you want to put your agents in the best position possible. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a game changer. And if EXP is not in your market, oh my gosh, what an opportunity.
Yeah.
So
okay. How have your agents done making the move over?
Yeah, my agents, a lot of my agents, they hadn't really seen any kind of changes, because we've kept the office. They've been plugged into, from our brokerage side. They have more opportunities at trainings. We're still getting together from a mastermind standpoint. We're bringing in more folks for trainings locally. So we're staying visible to all of our folks, and just checking in with them and just making sure that they're still doing good. But everything's been going really, really well from what I can tell.
Yeah. I saw a story this morning. I don't know if you saw that or not. Somebody posted it. It's on the new Life page, life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
.exprealty.com. So there was a story about there's a couple that came over, and I think he was a broker owner also, but they did like they did like 40, I think it was like 43 or 46 million, in volume, whatever. And then their first year being at EXP, they did like 85 million. Like it just, between the training, the
Wow.
leads, the incentives with the stock, all that stuff. I mean, his brokerage, his agents just, they doubled literally their business, their first year over here, which I thought, what a great
Yeah.
story. You know what I mean? And that's happening for a lot of people, just
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Well, we've got, yeah, we had, we brought over a guy that was at another company for 20 plus years. That was a top agent in the state for this company, and $20 million producer. And he's literally had his best quarter ever.
Really? Wow.
And so he's off to a great start. So, yeah, we're seeing that. I think that, a lot of agents are pretty used to working kind of virtually anyway.
Sure.
I mean, what do you really need to go into an office for? So, but you do want to collaborate with other top agents. And from what I've seen, I've been, pleasantly surprised at how open the agents around the country are willing to just say, open up their playbook and say, all right, here's what we do. Here's what makes us successful. Why don't you try it in your market? And,
It's
just
a
the coolest
paradigm
thing.
shift. I think it's a whole different level of collaboration I've never experienced in 18 years of doing this. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to train a lot at the company I was at before, and I liked doing that. But after a while, I got to be honest. I mean, I was part of Craig Proctor's program. It was 20 grand a year coaching. It was great. I mean, it paid back 100 times over. I was part of that for 9 years. But you want me to come in here to this office and in the name of culture, give everything away to all the agents. I know that benefits the broker owner, but how's that helping me really? I mean, it's just,
Right.
I'm trading my competition. That's just the truth of it, especially in a market like this. Where in here though, I'll give away everything I got, because again, we're just on a nationwide and even international level. The better we all do, the better we all do. Helps our stock, helps our brand, helps the company, more people. I mean, it's such a different mindset over here. Everybody working together locally, and we're just not competing against each other.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I was on a training this morning with one of our top agents at EXP, and she was being interviewed, and she's like, I'm not, associated, at least from an organizational standpoint, with Gusty, talking about me. And however, like, I'm cheering for him, because if he's winning, I'm winning, because if he does good, our stock goes up. And that's the same way. Like, I'm willing to help out anybody. It's just kind of like, you reached out, hey, let's have a conversation. I'm willing to help out you. I'm willing to help out anybody around the country, because there is, it benefits all 28,000 people.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it helps everybody that I've brought on, So, I mean, we're in this together. And especially right now with the industry where we're at, we need to be in this together, because we've got to get through this.
Yeah, totally. And we will. I don't know what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. We don't know how long it's going to last. I know I remember 2008, there were a lot of agents. There's agents I know that lost everything. Bankruptcy, lost their house, lost their cars, they lost it all. I mean, there's a lot of agents out there living, deal to deal, check to check, month to month, whatever. And if they go 3 or 4 months without a closing, I mean, it's just, they're in trouble. And just,
absolutely,
that's one of the things I love about this. I think it's just, with the multiple streams of income that are here, instead of just the one that we always had before, there's just, I'm concerned about where we're at in terms of the economy and the disease and everything else, but I'm not losing sleep at night over my finances.
Yeah.
Because I just know I'm going to get paid on closings from about 100 agents next month,
Perfect.
And it'll pay the bills and we'll get through it. We're tightening things up where we need to, but I'm good, and life happens to everybody. That's the one thing I've been trying to emphasize to agents. I've been talking about that for 2 years, just so and we haven't talked a whole lot. 5 years ago, I got diagnosed with prostate cancer. Now we caught it early. Everything's good. Clean bill of health, since they had surgery and different things, But I will tell you, for about 6 months, I had no closings whatsoever, because I chose not to, because we didn't have to. We had enough money coming in from other streams of income that our bills were covered, and financially we weren't stressed. And you can't put a price tag on that. But I tell people all the time, I learn from that too, that look, life happens, and just, most of us, again, 4 weeks ago, we weren't talking about any of this. You know, the stock market was an all-time high and unemployment's at an all-time low, and you know, deals are flying like crazy. We're getting ready for summer. Oh my God, it's going to be a huge summer and real estate, and here we go, and you know, whatever. And it's like, you know, like overnight, the bottom falls out.
That's right.
You know, and most people aren't ready for it. A lot of broker owners I know aren't ready for it because again, we're all on this upward trajectory, and now it's just like, you know, what does that look like, and when do we come out of this, and how's that going to look? And it's just, I can't tell you the peace of mind of just knowing that we've got EXP. It's just, I thank God every day that, you know, a friend of mine reached out to me and showed me this, and I was open enough to look at it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You know, you got to be. I think anybody, you got to know what's out there. And whether it's this model or something else, you need to know everything that's out there, and you've got to figure out what is truly in your best interest. And I don't think that EXP is for everybody, but I think it's for a lot of folks. So, you know, what I'm sure that you're looking for is, you know, people to partner with and people to mentor. And that's what I'm looking for. You know, I'm looking to, you know, luckily I've been very successful in this business. And so now I'm, you know, really focused on giving back and putting other people in a better position. And so, you know, I want in the future, I want to be able to show houses because I want to, not because I have to.
Right.
And in this model, I can.
Yeah, totally. So, well, I appreciate getting on here, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Is there
man.
anything you want to close out with? Anything you want to share? Any
Yeah.
other thoughts?
Yeah. I will happily, if you have any referrals to Birmingham, Alabama,
There you go. Absolutely.
I'd love you to reach out, take great care of your client. So Gusty Gulas. You can text me, call me anytime on my cell, 205-218-7560. But man, I've enjoyed chatting with you. And I wish you know, all you and your folks all the best. Stay healthy, and stay prosperous.
Definitely. And you too. Stay safe down there. I appreciate your time. And we'll see you soon. Won't see you at shareholders. I'll see you in the cloud. I'll see you in the EXP world. 5,000.
I like it.
All right, man. Have a great day. Thanks, Gusty. Bye-bye.